Why? Hello there, Hellions. I am going to be playing around for a little while. Hmm. Hi. I just want to say hello. I thought it would be nice for you guys to actually see my Abby. So, while she actually has motion, because normally I have her locked into place while playing games, the whole controller. So, hi. I am so happy about having this damn thing. My other half was actually talking about this in one of our streams, talking about how a lot of 2D artists can't get their hands, a lot of 2D VTubers can't use certain devices. And it's not their fault, it's actually the limitations of some of their artistry. And I think it's perfectly fine if you want 2D art, do it. But I prefer having movement. I prefer being able to reach up. you know. Mm. So yeah, it's nice to actually be able to move around. Granted, this does have limitations too. Like I have a chest mount to my. I am actually mounted to my chest. You guys literally see me. This is where my device is. Right here. So yeah. So I actually am moving around. So yeah, what do you guys think? You want to see me more? You be able to use my actual peripheral hand movement gestures thingies more, or would you prefer me going back to just using my static controller or the whole I'm drawing and I will still use that. Don't get it twisted. I will still be using that. That's not a real big deal. Um, but yeah, I quite like the fact that I'm able to use, you know, something so amazing. So yeah, and I am using a Vroid model. So I like to play games. So I tend to actually use things that will work. Like, I have another program that I use in conjunction with this one to actually contribute to me using a game controller, being able to play with the game controller. If I'm drawing, I use it for that. But right now, I'm like dealing with this. Did you guys hear about Trump getting shot? Now, I'm not about fucking violence or anything about that. That's not my lifestyle. You do you, boo. If you feel like you need to do that, you do that, and you get in trouble, and you get in trouble hard. But that's just it. But, what is he expecting? What are the right wings expecting? Now, here's my thing. Here's my thing. Now, watch. Watch, 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 watch. Now that one of theirs has gotten shot at, the far right and Magna is going to sit there and turn around and go, oh, we need stricter gun laws because this is fucking bullshit. That somebody tried to take out our potential presidential candidate. Which, by the way, if they were to actually follow the laws that were laid out, due to the fact that he was even said to have taken part in the insurrection, he should not be able to run. It's against our own laws. If you are sitting there thinking that, I'm against Trump, you're right. I am against Trump. But I'm also against Biden. I think we need to go and take somebody who is more along the lines of a younger age. Like, do you know that the actual legal age where you can run for government office is 36 years old? So let's find a 36-year-old who understands what's going on in the world better than these idiot geriatrics that's in office. Please, we need to vote someone younger into power. Okay, someone who is willing to pull up their bootstraps and do right by the world, not just corporations. This is something I've been and I'm going to sit here and say it like I said it on my other on X, formerly known as Twitter. There's a huge ass rant that I've done, but watch now that the right has been fired upon, literally fired upon. Pew pew has been shot, has been done towards a Republican presidential candidate who should not be allowed to run for office due to the fact that the claims that are laid against him and the fact that he was caught lying in office. This man has no integrity. Okay. And that's what pisses me off. Is that, the right wing is going to sit there and go, oh, we need stricter gun laws now because you guys shot at Trump. Well, here's the thing. Where was this attitude when people were going into our schools, shooting up our schools? Where was this when during the gay nightclub shooting in Florida? Where was this mindset that's going to appear by the MAGNA and the far right that because Trump got shot at? I'm pointing that out. Because I guarantee you, I'm calling it here, I'm calling it now, and I'm going to save this immediately and upload it to my actual VOD channel. So, yeah, I'm clarifying this. I'm calling it. The fact that Trump got shot at, the right's going to sit there and start screaming for stricter gun laws, and they're going to try to take guns. They're going to try to take your guns, son. They're going to try to take things from you. They've already been trying to take things from us. They've already been trying to sit there and take our rights. They've been starting with women with Roe v. Wade. Now they're going to come after your guns. First, they took our rights to dictate what we can and cannot do to our body, what we can and cannot do to our bodies. Now they're going to go after your guns. Think about that. Just think about that. They come after us women first. They're going to come after you too. You think you are off the chopping block? You are not off the chopping block, son. Good old boy. Gangsta-licious, whatever you want to go by. OG. Alright? They're going to come after your guns next. They came after women's rights. They're going to come after you next. Because of this whole thing, I'm going to call it now. This was staged. This was the means for the right to sit there and start delegating, oh, we need stricter gun laws because they shot at Trump. A man who should not be even fucking running, by the way. If you actually read the Constitution and actually understood the laws, which half of these yokels in office are too geriatric to realize that they should not be putting their eggs in this basket. This basket's got some gigantic holes in it. And I mean gigantic holes in it. Do not put your eggs in the Trump basket. Find you an independent. Okay? Find an independent. I don't want Biden. I hate Biden. And I'm going to tell you what I said on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call the bird app that Elon bought. Okay? This is time. We are outnumbering government officials. We need to go out and vote. And people need to stop buying into the delusion of the statement of this is a two-party system in America. No, it is not a two-party system. Look up Strom Thurmond. That motherfucker was a joke. I will admit, that motherfucker was a joke. He was a fucking joke. But he ran all the time. All of his later life, he ran until he couldn't run no more. He even knew when to call it quits on trying to run for presidency. And the thing is that we need to find an independent, because once we find an independent to put into office, you know what happens? We got the power of veto, because that president, he's our president. We voted that motherfucker into office when no one put his name on the hat. Okay? We need to learn. We need to put someone into power that is going to do right by us. That's my point. We need to do right for society. Like, my personal opinion, I'm pro-life for my personal self. Okay? Unless my child has some rare genetic disorder that means that as soon as it's born, it's going to die within a couple of months, I'm not going to suffer a child to live like that. That's fucked up. But for society's sake, my personal view is different from my societal view. What I will do for myself is different from what I think is good for society. What's good for the goose is to have choice on what they can do with their bodies. The gander needs to learn. And if for you who don't understand that term, the goose being the female, the gander is the male goose. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander, meaning what's good for the female is what's good for the male. Going back to what's good for the choices that we make is overall good, right? You know why they repealed Roe versus Wade, and this is where I think that they really did it, is that secretly they're fearing that we're going down the path of China, because China's about to have an economic collapse due to the fact of that whole one child policy. Now that's coming back to bite China in the ass like super hard. I mean, literal burglar getting his butt cheeks sinked into by Adobe pen. Okay? It's coming back to bite them really hard in China because of the demographic of being so high in males versus females. And they don't want to think about it that way. That's what I think is actually going on. They think that we're going down the path of China, but at a slower rate because women have the right to choose. But they don't understand the reason why Roe v. Wade actually came into existence was to stop back alley illegal abortions. Okay, women would go and still have this procedure done, and they would get complications. They would get sick, they would get fever, they wouldn't do a proper clean out, and you can imperforate the uterus, and once the uterus imperforates, it can start internally bleeding and it can cause hemorrhage and death of the woman. It was more or less to stop the illegal abortions. Okay? You're not stopping the rich people from having babies, not having babies. They can hop on a fucking plane. They can go to Bali. They can get their procedure done and have a little vacay. You know, what about the common folk? What about you? Your choices matter too. Your choice has been taken from you. Okay? That's like, did you know that they did a study on male birth control, and the first thing men did was complain about how they felt emotional and how they felt sensitive in spots? Welcome to the club. Every woman on the fucking planet who takes birth control has to deal with that. I don't take birth control because of my fear of birth control. You know why? Because my mama Ras ended up developing cancer from it. So, Lady Ras is scared out of her mind due to it. It's not my fault that I'm scared out of it. It's due to the fact that these chemicals that we're putting in our bodies are throwing off what women are attracted to, and it's been proven study that women on birth control are attracted to a certain kind of male versus not being on birth control, no longer being attracted to that certain type of male. And you find that once they go off of birth control, they tend to not like their spouses. There's some that do, but there's a lot that don't. But that's like, I don't have a problem with anybody. I don't care about the color of your skin. I don't care about what goes on in your pants. I don't care. What you do in your bedroom is what you do. But you don't get to dictate to me what I do with my body. I have my belly button pierced. If I want to get a tattoo, I want to get a tattoo. If I don't want to get a tattoo, I don't have to get a tattoo. If I want to cut my hair, whose choice is that? It's mine. Okay? If my offspring is not going to be viable, why do you get to tell me that I need to pull that child to term only to have it die out of womb? Just because you want birth rates to be up. That's the whole reason. The U.S. government is afraid that we are no longer a good Christian nation. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, we're a melting pot. There's not going to be just Christian. And by the way, okay, here's my bone to pick with that. You need to keep your damn religion out of government politics. There should not be a Christian government. A government should put away their religious beliefs, and the betterment of all of their citizens. Because you know what? It's not just your people, your faith bound people that live on this continent, on in this country. There are Muslims, there are Sunnis, there are Arabics, there are Hindus, there are Buddhists, there are Sharman, there are the indigenous religions. Okay? If that's the case, we need to have a representative of every race, of every faith in office, not just Christian, because that's not fair. If you're just going to put Baptists and Christians in office and not the Jewish, not Catholics, not a pagan, not I'm sorry. I kind of agree with Satanists. I'm a Wiccan. I'm a pagan. I agree with the Satanists on this one. Your faith needs to stay out of our government. You know, if you're going to put the fucking Ten Commandments in front of something, then you better put a statue of Solomon or whatever, Shamal or whatever they call that, Baphomet or whatever his name is, into. Because, you know, it's only fair. Then there should be a copy of the Quran, okay, in bronze up there. Then there should also be a copy of the Torah. Then there should also be a copy of the Wiccan Ride. Then there should be also the copy of the Old Ways. If you're going to dictate what should be done, common sense would dictate that you need to shut the fuck up. If you're a Christian trying to push your Christian views, shut the fuck up and get out of the office. You should be voted out immediately. You should be actually kicked out when your personal views come into play in government. Because that's not the best for society. Because the society doesn't run around you. You are not the son of society. Society is the sun. You are just an orbitary substance that's going around it. You work for society, not the other way around. So people like Nancy Pelosi, in my opinion, need to go to jail. So people who fall asleep in office for $85 an hour, you need to be stripped of your rights, and you can look that up. San Jose, a California office, Senate or Congress, I can't remember which one, but he is from California, gets paid $85 fucking dollars an hour. $85 an hour. Hear that. That is their minimum wage, by the way. The older you are, the more you get. And the more you're respected in that field. And that should not be either. Because one of the oldest people that was in office actually came from South Carolina. And they were an asshat. You know, they were found out later to have fathered children during the time and being known as a very big racist back in that day too, having fathered children back in that day, it led to a big scandal in South Carolina. Let's just leave it that way. But with that being said, I am so fed up with the government. It's not funny. Now watch, like I said, watch, because Trump got shot at. They're going to start saying, we need to make more restrictions on government laws about guns and firearms and all you other good bullshit. You know, you hear me right? You know, we're going to have to deal with that. We're going to have to deal with the rights coming from your four guns now. Watch. Just watch. Send this to Blair White or something. Because I'm going to predict it right now, Miss White. They're going to come for our guns. They're going to come for our guns because of this shooting. I don't care about Trump. I don't care about Biden. I want somebody completely different. keep the old motherfuckers out of office. If they're about 90 something years old, if they're pushing, let's say it this way, if they're more south, more on the south side of aging, of that middle age hump, and they're about more closer to pushing up daisies, they should be enjoying their retirement versus actually fucking around with government politics. That's how I feel about it. How do you feel about it? Let's talk about it. If you feel the same way, why? I want to know. Tell me. I literally do feel that both Trump and Biden are both bullshit. They're both full of shit. Trump for thinking that he can still run after all the shit he tried to incite, and Biden because he's too fucking sleepy and dozy to actually run a country. You know, and also I feel like we should just throw out the Senate and the Congress and reformat it all, as well as the justices, the Supreme Justices. I think we need to throw all them motherfuckers out and then hold a complete investigation after replacing the whole entire cabinets of both Senate and Congress and the justices. Do a full investigation to see exactly what they were spending their money on and where that $85 an hour was going. And after that, make it where they're barred from ever running for office again for anything, any government office, little or big. They need to they need to enjoy their retirement and leave the governing of the country to the younger generations. Because the younger generations need to learn how to fix shit from the past generations. Because you know what? Society is always evolving. Society is always going to evolve. And the best way to let a country grow is have the younger members, those of us who are in our 30s going into our 40s, guide the next generation who's going to be guiding the country. See, if your grandparents or your great grandparents, you should not run a country. If you are great grandparents, if you are rocking the age where you're about to see your not just your great grandchild, but your great great grandchild, okay, then you should not be running a country. That's my personal opinion. If you're about to see a great grandchild or a great great grandchild being born, you should not be in office. End of. End of. No, thank you. Hey, Drift. Hi. What's up? Oh, I'm good. I'm just ranting a little bit about my government being stupid. I think that there should be an age, you know, limit on how old our government is in the United States. If you're about to push up daisies, if you're going to the house, let's say it this way: if you are taking more than 6 medications to keep yourself alive, you should not be in office. But that's it. But that's what I was saying. Like, hi. I can move my hands. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. I can't even move my fingers. Ah, ah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just happy I'm moving around. Just practicing my movements with my ultra leap. So how does the movements look to you? Because to me they look smoother than they used to. Hold on, I'll be right back. So yeah. Here's the problem. Let's do a little bit. Yeah. Nothing's the problem. I'm talking to my other half and he's muted right now. So yeah. No one can hear you. Yeah. So he's telling me to do things to see how this movement is. I can't do that. My brain isn't braining. Oh, Drew. Oh. Oh. I'm sorry to hear that. Now what? No, I cannot pat my own head. No. That's difficult. Coffee and Red Bull. Okay. Yeah, that's not good. But if you suffer from ADD, um, caffeine acts like a suppressant. Now you know one of the reasons why I actually drink a lot of soda. There is caffeine in it. Yeah. Like, oh, Bluetooth. Mm. But yeah, so yeah. Ah, finally, it's starting to work. But yeah, I was just practicing my movements and stuff. That's all. I am going to go because I want to also test if my sprout can would just pick up the different ones if I switch over. So give me 1 second. Hmm. There we go. And yes, it does. So I can just easily switch it over. Dear. Yeah, I know. I just needed to learn about what I needed to do. Yeah, I know. But the thing is that the reason why I am saying it the way I'm saying it is because I am actually very, very happy because I'm able to use only one outsource and I can just switch over to what I am using. Like the thing that uses my game controller or as the input, or if I want to use my leap, I can go and use my leap versus, not. It's just easier to switch over. But yeah. But yeah, I'm going to go. I was just checking out how my leap was doing and if it's going to run smoother now. And yes, yes, it is. So you're going to probably see that a lot more. I hope you guys have a good day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. If it's not your birthday, happy unbirthday, you wonderful bastards. And I'll talk to you guys later.